And today we're going to talk about tips for picking color for your equipment, colors for your equipment on that upholstery. So thank you so much for asking this question in one of the videos. That is how these lives come to be. So if you are subscribed to this channel and you hit the notifications button, you'll never miss a live from us. But also anytime you ask a question in one of the videos, it doesn't even have to be applicable to that video. We put it in the lineup to answer here. So thank you very, very much. So I've been known for having different pieces of equipment color since, I don't know, like at least 2018 when I started buying equipment color, maybe 2016 when I bought my first chair. So I want to talk a little bit about the type of upholstery you want, and then how do you get such equipment colors in your equipment, right? So first of all of my equipment is uses Naugahyde. So Contrology is who makes the equipment that I have, which is owned by Balanced Body. Balanced Body uses Naugahyde. Any of the Pilates manufacturing companies should be using Naugahyde. And you want to know if they are or not, because it's a really great durable piece of material. Also, it's a shine to it, but like a slippery is the wrong word, but there's just this texture to it that won't let you get stuck because you want to be able to move around. I once was at a studio where instead of getting an upholsterer who worked with Naugahyde, they used a comparable piece of upholstery, and they had black, so it's like, who cares? It's black is black, right? Wrong. They ended up with a matte version of it, and you could not move. You would be like trying to go from this way to this way. You almost had to stand up to sit down. So you really want to have the Naugahyde like this, because then you can, no matter what the material you're wearing is, you pretty much can slide around without, it's not like a slip and slide though, right? So that's what you want to make sure you're doing. So if you do have equipment at home and you're like, oh, I want to reupholster it because maybe you've got used equipment or you're just bored of the color that you have, make sure that the upholsterer you're using is using Naugahyde, okay? Make sure you're taking a look at that. Show them what it is on the equipment. It's on the equipment websites. Like, and if they don't, or they try to talk you into something else that's like comparable, go somewhere else. There's so many upholsterers out there. It's really worth doing. Okay. So how did I go about picking the equipment colors? So every manufacturer is going to have a different list of swatches for you to look at. Okay. Naugahyde has, I don't know, like 80 something colors you can choose from. I like having everything be a different color. To me, it is a lot of fun. This is Gaia, everyone. So I like it I think it's a lot of fun this way. That being said, my vibe might not be yours, and this might be like shocking to you and way too much. Like none of these things match, right? To me, they don't match, so they go. One of my girlfriends is buying a Contrology spine corrector and a Contrology window chair, and she is getting an ivory color because her whole house is white. It's like everything is white, so she's getting the equipment to match, right? So it goes with the vibe. So personally, pick colors that you are drawn to. If this is for your home, absolutely, that makes sense, right? If you're a studio owner, truly pick the colors that you're drawn to, because you got to look at it all of the time. But there are some things you need to know and you need to consider that I did not know and no one told me. So I have a reformer that was, before Contrology came out, I had a reformer handmade for me by an amazing person, and it was based off of what Jay Grimes' reformer was like, which is what Contrology is as well. And I was like, oh, Brad and I were like, get this bright yellow. How fun would bright yellow be? And I still have it. If you look at my stories on Instagram, I still have it. It's used as a dog bed. The problem with that bright yellow is it shows everything. It shows all the dirt that's on people's bodies all the time. So I will say that I do have lighter colors. If you see my Contrology Cadillac, it's a really, really light green. I have my matte is a fjord blue. It's really, really light. It shows, like, if I don't wear my sticky socks and I'm moving around on there, like there are marks anywhere my feet were, and my feet weren't even dirty. I just like walked through the house, right? So the lighter colors do show dirt. The other thing you want to consider when picking the colors is that, believe it or not, red nail polish, or nail polish that's in that red family, it's like a dark burgundy, like a red black. If that is on someone's toenails, that does come off as like a scratch mark on the equipment. Now, for sure, this is happening on darker pieces of equipment. We're just not seeing them. But on the lighter stuff, it shows. Does it come off? It does. So I did have rules at my studio about having sticky socks that covered your toenails if you were like wanting to be in the red. I also always have had rules about people's clothing. No zippers, so none of those shorts with zippers in the back. No zippers on the side. No jewelry that had like sharp prongs to them in any way that all had to come off because that stuff can tear the equipment and there's no way to patch it. You can sort of patch it, but eventually you have to repulse the whole thing. It can cost so much money, it costs hundreds of dollars. And so I would just say like that has nothing to do with choosing colors, but if you are not wanting to see marks on the equipment, pick a more medium to dark color because you'll see less marks. I have no problems with a monochromatic studio, especially when it's in more of the neutrals. I think they look really beautiful in pictures, of course. However, you might want to have like all the big pieces are one color and then get some of these smaller pieces as an accent color. It makes it really fun. You also want to decide like, how are you using this equipment? I film on everything, right? So I do have bright colors because it's easier to see what I'm doing on the equipment because the equipment I have more contrast. If you're working on black equipment, you absolutely have to be wearing color, but it's also kind of hard to see what's going on. So that's just kind of my vibe and just picking different colors. Now, I will say some companies have like, here are colors you can choose from. These are like standard colors. And then they have an additional set of colors you can choose from, but they're extra. So that's mostly because they might have to go source it. They don't have a lot of it on hand. I mean, like I said, Naugahyde had like 80 something colors. They can't have all of those just at the ready to make a Cadillac at any time, right? So they can source other colors for you. There'll just be a slight fee for them to do that. Don't be stingy if you want a fun color. Like, get the color that you want, you know? So this color was on my original chair and I really, really loved it. And it was not available with Contrology or Balanced Body at the time that I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. They didn't have it developed yet, the Contrology spine corrector for me to order. And one day, for fun, they brought in this color. It's called Rosalie. And you best believe I was like, they better save enough to do my spine corrector. So I got one of the first spine correctors. It is in this fun color. I absolutely love it. And I think the other thing to note is like, pick a color that makes you want to go use the equipment. Make it fun. So there's a lot of different reasons why you would want to pick a fun color, but most importantly, you want to pick something that you're going to want to use. Now, again, if you're buying used equipment, you might not have a choice of what color it's in because it might just be the deal that you were looking for, and feel free to reupholster it, but be careful. Like you don't want them to reupholster it in a bad way. And so it may be better off than saving $1,000. Or I don't even see people save that much money on used equipment anymore. Instead of just saving tax and shipping, just get the color you want in a new piece, you know, if it matters to you. Now you might be watching this going, who cares? And in that case, have fun. You get whatever is out there. Like the world is your oyster. So that's my tips. Make sure it's true Naugahyde. Make sure it's not matte so that you can move around on the equipment without getting stuck or your pants getting pulled off. Pick colors that make you want to use them. And then if you are anal retentive about how clean things look, maybe don't get the lightest colors, because I do clean all of my equipment with a soft bristle, like baby toothbrush, and some cleaning plus a microfiber towel once a week. You'd be surprised. I'm the only person who pretty much uses this equipment. Sometimes Brad does. Sometimes I have a client who comes in the house and there is just stuff in the air that settles in and takes up space. So I do a deep clean once a week. If that's something you're like, oh my God, that would drive me nuts, get a darker color because you won't see that stuff and it might allow you to go at least once a week without the deep clean instead of every day. Thank you so much. If you have questions about anything, feel free to let us know. We're going on tour in 2 weeks from today. So we'd love to see you in real life, in person, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, Denver, Lincoln, Nebraska, Minneapolis, Milwaukee, Chicago, Cleveland, Ohio, Dayton, Ohio, Indianapolis, St. Louis, Kansas City, Colorado Springs. Several cities are fully sold out when it comes to some of the workouts. Several cities' workshops have 1 or 2 spots left. So please, please, please go to opc.me/tour and snag your spots. We want to see you when we meet you in person. We know that this channel helps you so much, and we actually want to meet you in real life. And thank you for supporting this channel. Have an amazing day.